At home, we must reject the mistaken notion, a notion that has dominated too much of the public dialogue for too long, that ever bigger government is the answer to every problem. The time has come for us to draw the line. The time has come for the responsible leaders of both political parties to take a stand against overgrown government and for the American taxpayer. Black Americans, no more than white Americans, they do not want more government programs which perpetuate dependency. They don't want to be a colony in a nation. Let us build bridges, my friends, build bridges to human dignity across that gulf that separates Black America from white America. Americans admire a people who can scratch a desert and produce a garden. The Israelis have shown qualities that Americans identify with: guts, patriotism, idealism, a passion for freedom. I have seen it. I know. I believe that. A public man must never forget that he loses his usefulness when he is an individual, rather than his policy becomes the issue. President Johnson and I have a lot in common. We were both born in small towns and were both fortunate in the fact that we think we married above ourselves. The memory of that scene for me is like a frame of film forever frozen at that moment. The red carpet, the green lawn, the White House, the leaden sky. The new president and his first lady. My strong point, if I have a strong point, is performance. I always do more than I say. I always produce more than I promise. My own view is that taping of conversations for historical purposes was a bad decision on the part of all the presidents. I don't think Kennedy should have done it. I don't think Johnson should have done it, and I don't think we should have done it. If I were to make public these tapes, containing blunt and candid remarks on many different subjects, the confidentiality of the office of the president would always be suspect. As this long and difficult war ends, I would like to address a few special words to the American people. Your steadfastness in supporting our insistence on peace with honor has made peace with honor possible. I wish I could give you a lot of advice, based on my experience of winning political debates. But I don't have that experience. My only experience is at losing them. Watergate had become the center of the media's universe, and during the remaining year of my presidency, the media tried to force everything else to revolve around it. I talked about Watergate. I was described as struggling to free myself from the morass. If I did not talk about Watergate, I was accused of being out of touch with reality. I've never canceled a subscription to a newspaper because of bad cartoons or editorials. If that were the case, I wouldn't have any newspapers or magazines to read. We are not spending the federal government's money. We are spending the taxpayers' money. and it must be spent in a way which guarantees his money's worth and yields the fullest possible benefit to the people being helped. Under the doctrine of separation of powers, the manner in which the President personally exercises his assigned executive powers is not subject to questioning by another branch of government. I don't think that a leader can control, to any great extent, his destiny. Very seldom can he step in and change the situation if the forces of history are running in another direction. We do not learn by inference and deduction and the application of mathematics to philosophy, but by direct intercourse and sympathy. I see the face of a child. He lives in a great city. He is black, or he is white. He is Mexican, Italian, Polish. None of that matters. What matters? He's an American child. The answer to many of the domestic problems we face is not higher taxes and more spending. It is less waste, more results, and greater freedom for the individual American to earn a rightful place in his own community, and for states and localities to address their own needs in their own ways, in the light of their own priorities. A president can ask for reconciliation in the racial conflict that divides Americans. But reconciliation comes only from the hearts of people. There are some people, they think the way to be a big man is to shout and stomp and raise hell, and then nothing ever really happens. I'm not like that. I never shoot blanks. When I retire, I'm going to spend my evenings by the fireplace going through those boxes. There are things in there that ought to be burned. What starts the process, really, are laughs and slights and snubs when you are a kid. If your anger is deep enough and strong enough, you learn that you can change those attitudes by excellence, personal gut performance. Certainly in the next 50 years we shall see a woman president, perhaps sooner than you think. A woman can and should be able to do any political job that a man can do. Life isn't meant to be easy. It's hard to take being on the top, or on the bottom. I guess I'm something of a fatalist. You have to have a sense of history, I think, to survive some of these things. Life is one crisis after another. Thanks for watching.